They say Civil War soldiers survived on hardtack and salt pork, but when supply lines snapped, it was something else entirely. Pure ingenuity kept armies marching. Picture this. It's October 1863. Sherman's men haven't seen supply wagons in 5 days. Georgia countryside stripped bare. Bellies empty, but minds sharp. What do you eat when there's nothing to eat? You become alchemists of survival. These weren't military rations. These were lessons in making life from death. Soldiers' letters home preserved this knowledge. Recipes written in margins of Bibles, scrawled on ammunition boxes. Today, I'm taking you back. When food wasn't fuel, it was hope. Stay with me. These 23 forgotten recipes tell America's real survival story. Number 1. Pine needle tea. This wasn't herbal medicine. This was battlefield pharmacy. Pine needle tea saved more soldiers than surgeons ever counted. Winter 1862, when scurvy claimed more men than bullets. Vitamin C disappeared from camps. Gums bleeding, teeth loosening, hope fading. Private James Morrison, 14th Pennsylvania. December 15th, 1862. Watched tentmates waste away near Fredericksburg. Remembered grandfather's Cherokee wisdom about evergreen trees. Strip fresh pine needles from white pine branches. Steep in boiling water 10 minutes. Strain through cloth. Drink hot. Ancient wisdom meeting modern war. During Fredericksburg's aftermath, this tea prevented scurvy outbreaks. Men sharing knowledge across enemy lines. Confederate and Union soldiers brewing life from trees. Hot liquid carrying vitamin C through frozen bodies. Bitter taste meaning survival. Steam rising like prayers from tin cups. Morrison's recipe spread through winter encampments. Saved hundreds from slow death. Pine forests becoming medicine cabinets for desperate armies. Every sip carried message. Life exists everywhere. Wisdom flows through generations. Survival tastes like evergreen hope. Number 2. Acorn flour pancakes. This wasn't desperate foraging. This was ancient technology. Acorn flour pancakes connected hungry soldiers to Cherokee survival wisdom. Fall 1864, when Sherman's march left Georgia stripped. Regular flour vanished from Confederate camps. Corn supplies exhausted, bellies hollow. Sergeant Thomas Whitmore, 33rd Georgia Infantry. November 3, 1864. Remembered childhood stories about Creek Indian food preparation. Decided hunger demanded learning. Collect white oak acorns, shell carefully. Grind meat into coarse meal. Leach bitter tannins with cold water changes. Mix with whatever water remained. During Atlanta campaign, these pancakes sustained retreating Confederate forces. Native American knowledge saving European descendants. Ancient wisdom feeding modern war. Nutty flour creating substantial cakes. Protein and fat keeping men moving. Simple mixture tasting like determination and borrowed time. Cherokee techniques spreading through Southern armies. Soldiers teaching each other forgotten skills. Acorn groves becoming commissaries for retreating forces. Every pancake carried lesson. Survival belongs to learners. Pride yields to hunger. Wisdom has no uniform. Number 3. Dandelion greens with bacon grease. This was spring medicine. Dandelion greens with bacon grease brought vitamins to vitamin-starved bodies. March 1863, when winter camps bred disease. Scurvy, dysentery, malnutrition claiming thousands. Fresh vegetables memory from another life. Corporal Michael O'Brien, 69th New York, March 20th, 1863. Irish immigrant recognizing famine foods in Virginia fields. Hunger teaching old lessons. Pick young dandelion leaves before flowers bloom. Wash thoroughly in stream water. Sauté in saved bacon grease until wilted. Salt if available. During Chancellorsville preparations, these greens prevented vitamin deficiency. Bitter leaves delivering essential nutrients. weeds becoming medicine for dying armies, hot grease making bitter edible, dark greens turning tender, common yard plants tasting like life returning to exhausted systems. O'Brien's knowledge saved his entire company. Irish famine experience blessing American battlefield, dandelion fields becoming soldiers' salvation. Every bite carried truth. Medicine grows everywhere. Wisdom travels with immigrants. Survival tastes like bitter spring. Number 4. Hardtack pudding. This wasn't dessert. This was transformation magic. Hardtack pudding turned inedible crackers into something approaching comfort food. January 1865, when supplies reached new lows. Hardtack so moldy it moved by itself. But throwing away calories meant death. Private Samuel Jenkins, 54th Massachusetts, January 8, 1865. Watched comrades attempt eating wormy crackers, remembered mother's bread pudding techniques. Soak hardtack in hot water until soft. Mash into paste, add molasses if available. Mix in dried fruit pieces. Form into cakes, fry slowly. During Petersburg siege, this pudding fed desperate men, transforming army crackers into edible sustenance. Alchemy practiced in muddy trenches. Sweet molasses masking staleness. Soft texture replacing jaw-breaking hardness. Simple mixture tasting like distant memories of home kitchens. Jenkins' recipe traveled through Union camps. Massachusetts technique feeding men from every state. Hardtack barrels becoming sources of unexpected comfort. Every spoonful carried message. Transformation possible anywhere. Creativity conquers desperation. Comfort lives in simple things. Number 5. Wild onion soup. This wasn't fine dining. This was field medicine. Wild onion soup prevented diseases while filling empty stomachs with something warm. April 1862, when Shiloh's aftermath left thousands wounded. Medical supplies exhausted. Food supplies worse. Wild onions carpet Tennessee fields. Lieutenant William Hayes, 15th Iowa, April 8, 1862. Medical training recognizing onions' antiseptic properties. Battlefield becoming classroom in survival. Dig wild onions with bayonets. Clean thoroughly. Slice thin, simmer in available water. Add salt pork scraps if possible. Season with wild herbs. During Shiloh recovery, this soup prevented infection. Natural antibiotics flowing through wounded bodies. Common field plants becoming military medicine. Pungent broth warming chilled soldiers. Sharp flavor cutting through despair. Simple vegetables tasting like hope and healing combined. Hayes's medical knowledge saved countless lives. Iowa doctor feeding Tennessee battlefield. Wild meadows becoming hospital kitchens. Every bowl carried healing. Medicine grows wild. Knowledge saves lives. Recovery tastes like wild onion soup. Number 6. Sassafras root beer. This wasn't refreshment, this was morale medicine. Sassafras root beer reminded soldiers that sweetness still existed in bitter world. Summer 1863, when Gettysburg heat exhausted both armies. Water sources contaminated, spirits lower than supplies. Sassafras roots dotted Pennsylvania forests. Corporal Robert Lee Smith, 37th Virginia, July 4, 1863. Southern boy recognizing medicinal roots in enemy territory. Homesickness teaching survival skills. Dig sassafras roots, scrub clean with knife, boil in water until liquid darkens. Strain through cloth, sweeten with molasses. Serve cool when possible. During Gettysburg aftermath, this drink sustained Confederate stragglers. Root beer connecting soldiers to childhood memories. Pennsylvania woods providing southern comfort. Sweet liquid masking medicinal bitterness. Cool refreshment in summer heat. Simple roots tasting like distant front porches and better times. Smith's recipe comforted dying men. Virginia memories sweetening Pennsylvania defeat. Sassafras groves becoming emotional pharmacy for broken armies. Every sip carried comfort. Sweetness survives everything. Memory travels in taste. Hope tastes like sassafras root beer. Number 7. Persimmon bread. This wasn't baking. This was autumn salvation. Persimmon bread turned wild fruit into sustaining energy when grain disappeared completely. October 1864, when Hood's army retreated through Tennessee. Mills destroyed, grain supplies vanished. Wild persimmons heavy on naked trees. Private David Coleman, 20th Tennessee, October 15, 1864. Farm boy recognizing nature's timing. Persimmons ripe when armies starved. Collect fully ripe persimmons. Remove seeds carefully. Mash pulp, smooth, mix with cornmeal if available. Form into flat cakes, bake on hot stones. During Franklin campaign, this bread sustained retreating forces. Wild fruit providing precious calories. Tennessee forests feeding Tennessee sons. Sweet pulp creating dense nutrition. Orange fruit tasting like concentrated sunshine. Simple mixture providing energy for endless marching. Coleman's knowledge fed entire companies. Farm wisdom saving military units. Persimmon groves becoming bakeries for hungry armies. Every slice carried endurance. Nature provides timing. Wisdom ripens with seasons. Survival tastes like autumn persimmons. Number 8. Chicory coffee. This wasn't coffee substitute. This was morning ritual preservation. Chicory coffee maintained civilization's comfort when civilization crumbled around campfires. Winter 1863, when coffee beans became precious as gold. Union blockade strangling Southern supplies. Blue chicory flowers held bitter secrets. Captain Henry Beauregard, 8th Louisiana. December 12, 1863. New Orleans gentlemen maintaining morning dignity. Creole tradition meeting military necessity. Dig chicory roots after first frost kills leaves. Roast slowly until dark brown. Grind with rocks when mills unavailable. Brew strong, serve hot. During Vicksburg siege, this coffee sustained Southern morale. French technique blessing Confederate camps. Morning ritual surviving military chaos. Dark liquid providing caffeine comfort. Bitter taste meaning wakefulness. Simple roots creating familiar morning ceremony in unfamiliar circumstances. Beauregard's recipe spread through Southern armies. Louisiana wisdom warming Virginia winters. Chicory fields becoming coffee plantations for desperate soldiers. Every cup carried dignity. Rituals transcend circumstances. Comfort survives everything. Morning tastes like chicory courage. Number 9. Wild grape leather. This wasn't candy. This was portable energy. Wild grape leather concentrated summer's sweetness into winter survival rations. September 1862, when Maryland campaign strained both armies. Fresh food vanishing, winter approaching, wild grapes heavy on Antietam vines, Sergeant Patrick Flynn, 2nd Wisconsin. September 20th, 1862. Irish immigrant recognizing preservation techniques. European knowledge blessing American battlefield. Collect ripe wild grapes, crush thoroughly. Strain juice, discard skins and seeds. Simmer slowly until thick paste forms. Spread thin, dry completely. During Antietam recovery, this leather sustained Union foragers. Concentrated fruit providing quick energy. Maryland vines feeding Wisconsin soldiers. Chewy texture releasing intense sweetness. Purple leather tasting like compressed sunshine. Simple fruit transformed into portable sustenance. Flynn's technique fed scattered companies. Irish wisdom blessing American innovation. Grape vines becoming candy factories for hungry armies. Every piece carried energy. Sweetness travels well. Preservation conquers time. Survival tastes like wild grape memories. Number 10. Poke salad with salt pork. This wasn't salad. This was spring detox. Poke salad with salt pork cleansed bodies poisoned by winter's limited diet. March 1864, when Virginia winter finally broke. Soldiers emerging pale, weak, sick. young pokeweed shoots pushing through campgrounds. Private Joshua Williams, 44th Georgia. March 15, 1864. Alabama farm boy recognizing dangerous medicine. Pokeweed requiring careful preparation. Pick only young shoots before leaves mature. Boil twice, discarding first water completely. Sauté with salt pork pieces. Serve hot immediately. During wilderness campaign preparations, this salad cleansed Confederate systems. Spring medicine flowing through winter-weakened bodies. Virginia fields providing Alabama wisdom. Tender greens absorbing smoky pork fat. Slightly bitter taste meaning purification. Dangerous plants becoming medicine through proper knowledge. Williams' careful teaching prevented poisoning deaths. Alabama technique protecting Georgia soldiers. Pokeweed patches becoming spring pharmacy for recovering armies. Every forkful carried renewal. Spring cleanses everything. Knowledge conquers danger. Recovery tastes like poke salad. Number 11. Bark bread. This wasn't tree bark. This was emergency grain. Bark bread from basswood trees provided carbohydrates when wheat fields burned. May 1864, when Shenandoah Valley smoldered. Sheridan's scorched earth destroying grain supplies. Basswood trees offering inner salvation. Corporal Andrew Jackson Bell, 43rd Virginia. May 25, 1864. Mountain man knowing forest secrets. Cherokee grandfathers teaching blessing, Confederate survival. Strip inner bark from basswood trees carefully. Dry thoroughly, grind into flour. Mix with water, small amounts cornmeal if available. Bake on hot stones. During Valley campaigns, this bread sustained Jubal Early's forces. Tree flour feeding human armies. Shenandoah forests becoming granaries for desperate men. Slightly sweet flour creating dense nutrition. Fibrous texture requiring determined chewing. Tree bark tasting like concentrated forest strength. Bell's knowledge saved starving companies. Cherokee wisdom blessing Virginia mountains. Basswood groves becoming bakeries for retreating forces. Every slice carried endurance. Trees share life. Wisdom flows through generations. Survival tastes like forest patience. Number 12. Crayfish boil. This wasn't seafood feast. This was creek protein. Crayfish boil provided essential nutrition when meat rations failed completely. August 1863, when Tennessee heat exhausted both armies. Salt pork spoiling. Fresh meat non-existent. Creek beds hiding miniature lobsters. Private Michel Boudreau, 18th Louisiana. August 10, 1863. Cajun boy recognizing familiar creatures. Louisiana bayous teaching Tennessee survival. Catch crayfish in creek shallows using hands. Boil in large pot with wild onions. Season with whatever herbs available. Eat immediately while hot. During Chickamauga preparations, these boils fed Louisiana regiments. Bayou knowledge blessing mountain warfare. Tennessee creeks providing Louisiana comfort. Sweet meat hidden in tiny shells. Spicy broth warming tired bodies. Creek creatures tasting like home waters flowing through foreign lands. Boudreau's techniques taught entire brigades. Cajun wisdom spreading through Confederate camps. Creek beds becoming seafood restaurants for homesick soldiers. Every tale carried home. Water connects everything. Skill travels with people. Survival tastes like creek crayfish. Number 13. Wild mushroom stew. This wasn't gourmet cooking. This was dangerous knowledge. Wild mushroom stew provided protein when identification skills meant life or death. October 1862, when Appalachian forests offered hidden protein. Mushrooms fruiting after autumn rains. Knowledge separating living from dying. Sergeant Benjamin Turner, 26th North Carolina. October 8, 1862. Mountain farmer trusting inherited wisdom. Grandfathers teaching preventing poisoning deaths. Identify oyster mushrooms on dead trees only. Never ground mushrooms without expert knowledge. Sauté with onions. Simmer slowly. Test small amounts first. During Cumberland Gap campaigns, this stew fed mountain regiments. Appalachian knowledge blessing Highland warfare. Forest floors providing protein for climbing armies. Meaty mushrooms absorbing smoky flavors. Rich stew warming mountain cold bodies. Dangerous food tasting like concentrated forest wisdom. Turner's careful teaching prevented tragic mistakes. North Carolina mountains feeding Carolina soldiers. Forest floors becoming meat markets for hungry armies. Every spoonful carried caution. Knowledge prevents death. Wisdom demands respect. Survival tastes like careful mushrooms. Number 14. Wild leek soup. This wasn't spring vegetable. This was seasonal medicine. Wild leek soup cleansed winter-sick bodies while providing essential early nutrition. April 1863, when Chancellorsville stirred with spring. Soldiers pale from winter camps. Wild leeks carpeting Virginia forests with green promise. Private Heinrich Meller, 11th Ohio. April 5, 1863. German immigrant recognizing European wild foods. Bavarian forests teaching Virginia survival. Dig wild leeks with roots intact. Clean thoroughly, chop entire plant, simmer in water with salt pork scraps, season with wild herbs if available. During Chancellorsville buildup, this soup revived Union forces. German knowledge blessing American wilderness. Virginia woods providing Ohio comfort. Pungent broth clearing winter-clogged systems. Sharp taste meaning spring returning. Wild plants tasting like seasonal renewal and systematic cleansing. Muller's European training taught American companies. Bavarian wisdom blessing Union camps. Leek patches becoming spring medicine for recovering armies. Every bowl carried cleansing. Spring heals everything. Knowledge crosses oceans. Recovery tastes like wild leek soup. Number 15. Persimmon leather. This was concentrated survival. Persimmon leather packed autumn's sweetness into rations lasting through winter starvation. November 1863, when Bragg's army retreated from Chattanooga. Commissary wagons abandoned, winter approaching. Wild persimmons offering final harvest. Private William Jackson, 15th Alabama. November 28, 1863. Remembered grandmother's preservation techniques. Alabama orchards teaching Tennessee survival. Collect fully ripe persimmons after frost softens fruit. Remove seeds, mash pulp smooth. Spread thin on flat surfaces, dry completely in sun. During Missionary Ridge aftermath, this leather sustained retreating Confederates. Concentrated fruit providing portable energy. Tennessee forests feeding Alabama boys. Chewy sweetness requiring patient chewing. Orange leather tasting like compressed autumn sunshine. Wild fruit becoming winter survival rations. Jackson's technique saved starving companies. Alabama preservation blessing, Tennessee retreat. Persimmon trees becoming candy factories for desperate soldiers. Every strip carried sweetness. Autumn feeds winter. Preservation conquers time. Survival tastes like persimmon patience. Number 16. Cattail root stew. This wasn't swamp food. This was marsh potato. Cattail root stew provided starchy carbohydrates when potato supplies completely vanished. July 1864, when Grant's siege starved Petersburg defenders. Regular vegetables forgotten luxuries. Marsh cattails standing like brown soldiers in Virginia wetlands. Corporal James River Thompson, 12th Virginia. July 18, 1864. Powhatan, descendant recognizing ancient foods. Native knowledge blessing Confederate resistance. Dig cattail roots from marsh mud. Wash thoroughly, peel outer skin. Slice thick, simmer until tender. Season with whatever herbs or meat available. During Petersburg siege, this stew sustained Confederate trenches. Powhatan wisdom blessing Virginia defense. Marsh plants feeding marsh-surrounded armies. Starchy roots providing substantial carbohydrates. Mild flavor accepting any seasoning. Marsh plants tasting like patient earth feeding desperate men. Thompson's heritage saved starving regiments. Native wisdom blessing European descendants. Cattail marshes becoming potato fields for besieged soldiers. Every spoonful carried endurance. Earth provides always, heritage saves lives. Survival tastes like ancient marshes. Number 17. Wild mint tea. This wasn't refreshment, this was digestive medicine. Wild mint tea settled stomachs destroyed by poor food and constant stress. June 1863, when Pennsylvania invasion strained Confederate logistics. Bad water, spoiled food, nervous systems shattered, wild mint covering creek banks. Private Thomas Jefferson Davis, 22nd Virginia. June 20th, 1863. Recognized healing herbs from Blue Ridge childhood. Mountain wisdom teaching battlefield medicine. Pick fresh mint leaves near water sources. Rinse thoroughly in clean stream. Steep in boiling water until fragrant. Drink hot for best effect. During Gettysburg Campaign, this tea calmed Confederate stomachs. Mountain medicine blessing invasion forces. Pennsylvania creeks providing Virginia comfort. Aromatic steam rising from tin cups. Cool taste meaning digestive peace. Simple leaves providing medicine for war-torn bodies. Davis's knowledge spread through Lee's army. Virginia mountains teaching Pennsylvania invasion. Mint patches becoming pharmacy for marching armies. Every cup carried peace. Plants heal naturally. Comfort grows wild. Healing tastes like mountain mint. Number 18. Clover blossom fritters. This wasn't flower food, this was protein harvest. Clover blossom fritters provided essential nutrition disguised as something almost cheerful. May 1862, when Peninsula Campaign stalled in Virginia swamps. Regular rations spoiling in humidity. Red clover blooming across abandoned fields. Private Patrick O'Malley, 88th New York, May 12, 1862. Irish countryside teaching American survival. Famine knowledge blessing, abundance recognition. Collect fresh clover blossoms before wilting. Dip in batter made from flour and water. Fry quickly in whatever fat available. Serve immediately while warm. During Peninsula stalemate, these fritters fed foraging parties. Irish techniques blessing American camps. Virginia fields providing New York comfort. Sweet blossoms hiding in crispy batter. Delicate flavor meaning spring abundance. Flower food tasting like hope disguised as actual sustenance. O'Malley's skills taught entire regiments. Irish wisdom blessing Union survival. Clover fields becoming restaurants for hungry armies. Every fritter carried optimism. Beauty feeds body. Knowledge blooms everywhere. Survival tastes like clover sweetness. Number 19. Wild garlic paste. This wasn't seasoning. This was preservation medicine. Wild garlic paste prevented food poisoning while making spoiled meat almost edible. March 1865, when Lee's army survived on scraps. Meat spoiling faster than consumption. Wild garlic carpeting Virginia woods with pungent salvation. Sergeant Alexander Stewart, 1st Virginia. March 10, 1865. Scottish Highland heritage recognizing preservation techniques. European knowledge blessing American desperation. Dig wild garlic bulbs and leaves. Crush into paste using rocks. Mix with salt if available. Coat questionable meat thoroughly before cooking. During Richmond defense, this paste prevented mass poisoning. Highland wisdom blessing Confederate survival. Virginia woods providing Scottish medicine. Pungent paste masking spoilage smells. Sharp taste meaning safety. Wild plants providing antiseptic protection for desperate circumstances. Stewart's Highland knowledge saved dying armies. Scottish techniques blessing Virginia defense. Garlic patches becoming preservation factories for starving soldiers. Every application carried protection. Plants provide medicine. Heritage saves lives. Safety tastes like wild garlic. Number 20. Wild berry compote. This wasn't dessert. This was vitamin medicine. Wild berry compote prevented scurvy while providing precious sweetness to sugar-starved soldiers. August 1864, when Atlanta siege stretched through summer. Fresh fruit forgotten luxury. Scurvy threatening both armies. Wild blackberries ripening in Georgia heat. Private John Henry Brown, 100th Indiana. August 15, 1864. Indiana farm boy recognizing preservation opportunity. Midwest Knowledge Blessing Southern Campaign. Collect ripe blackberries, elderberries, whatever available. Simmer slowly until thick. Add honey if possible. Store in cool places when achievable. During Atlanta investment, this compote prevented vitamin deficiency. Indiana techniques blessing Georgia siege. Southern berries providing northern medicine. Dark syrup concentrating summer nutrition. Sweet taste meaning health protection. Wild fruit providing vitamin insurance for vitamin-starved bodies. Brown's techniques taught Sherman's foragers. Indiana wisdom blessing Georgia campaign. Berry patches becoming medicine factories for advancing armies. Every spoonful carried health. Summer feeds winter. Preservation conquers time. Wellness tastes like wild berry compote. Number 21. Wild rice porridge. This wasn't breakfast. This was marsh grain. Wild rice porridge provided substantial carbohydrates when regular grains became impossible dreams. September 1862, when Minnesota regiments fought far from home. Corn supplies exhausted, wheat unavailable. Wild rice beds remembered from childhood waters. Corporal Lars Anderson, 1st Minnesota. September 25, 1862. Scandinavian immigrant remembering Minnesota marshes. Nordic knowledge teaching Southern survival. Collect wild rice seeds from marsh grasses. Parch over fire until hulls crack. Winnow chaff. Boil remaining grains slowly. Simmer until tender throughout. During Iuka campaign, this porridge sustained Northern troops. Minnesota knowledge blessing Mississippi fighting. Marsh grasses providing Scandinavian comfort. Nutty grains creating filling nutrition. Hearty texture meaning substantial satisfaction. Wild seeds tasting like northern lakes and patient harvesting. Anderson's heritage fed homesick regiments. Minnesota marshes blessing Mississippi campaigns. Wild rice beds becoming grain fields for displaced armies. Every bowl carried home. Water connects everything. Heritage feeds future. Survival tastes like wild rice porridge. Number 22. Maple sugar bark. This was concentrated energy. Maple sugar bark provided precious calories when sugar supplies disappeared into memory. February 1863, when winter camps faced starvation. Sugar rations vanished, energy levels critical. Maple trees offering sweet salvation through patient tapping. Private Samuel Woodworth, 2nd Vermont. February 8, 1863. Vermont boy recognizing maple season. Green Mountain wisdom teaching Virginia survival. Tap maple trees when sap runs freely. Boil sap until thick syrup forms. Continue cooking until sugar crystallizes. Pour thin, break when cool. During winter quarters crisis, this sugar sustained Vermont regiments. Mountain knowledge blessing valley survival. Virginia maples providing Vermont sweetness. Crystallized sweetness dissolving slowly. Pure energy meaning endurance. Tree sugar tasting like concentrated spring promise and patient winter work. Woodworth's skills taught entire brigades. Vermont wisdom blessing Virginia camps. Maple groves becoming sugar refineries for energy-starved soldiers. Every piece carried strength. Trees give life. Patience creates sweetness. Energy tastes like maple patience. Number 23. Wild strawberry preserves leek soup. This wasn't spring vegetable. This was seasonal medicine. Wild leek soup cleansed winter-sick bodies while providing essential early nutrition. April 1863, When Chancellorsville stirred with spring. Soldiers pale from winter camps. Wild leeks carpeting Virginia forests with green promise. Private Heinrich Meller, 11th Ohio, April 5, 1863. German immigrant recognizing European wild foods. Bavarian forest teaching Virginia survival. Dig wild leeks with roots intact. Clean thoroughly, chop entire plant. Simmer in water with salt pork scraps. Season with wild herbs if available. During Chancellorsville buildup, this soup revived Union forces. German knowledge blessing American wilderness. Virginia woods providing Ohio comfort. Pungent broth clearing winter-clogged systems. Sharp taste meaning spring returning. Wild plants tasting like seasonal renewal and systematic cleansing. Muller's European training taught American companies. Bavarian wisdom blessing Union camps. Leek patches becoming spring medicine for recovering armies. Every bowl carried cleansing. Spring heals everything. Knowledge crosses oceans. Recovery tastes like wild leek soup. These 23 foods tell soldiers' real story, not story of heroic charges, story of quiet survival. Men who transformed forest floors into grocery stores. These recipes survived because they worked, because they took whatever nature offered, made it into something worth living for. This isn't just food history. This is American ingenuity. When everything else gets stripped away, we still find ways to keep going. That's soldier wisdom. That's survivor knowledge. That's hunger teaching hope. If these stories touched you, share this video. Subscribe to Keep Forgotten Wisdom Alive, because some knowledge transcends battlefields. Some wisdom survives everything. Some courage lasts forever. Simple ingredients, complex survival, human perseverance served daily.